Years ago, one of my teachers taught me, he said, Paul, there's only 4 kinds of patients in the world. And I'll tell you what the 4 kinds are. But once I started looking through the eyes of his model, I saw it to be exquisitely true. Number 1, those that follow your directions and make the changes you suggest and do their suggested therapies, and they always get better quickly and go back to living their lives happy because they're well. 2, those that have such a big ego that they'll never listen to anybody, and no matter what you tell them or how skilled you are, they just keep doing what they want to do. 3, those that are hypochondriacs that don't know who they are without their pain, and so no matter how skilled you are, they're more afraid to be without their pain because they've built an identity and relationships and often are getting compensated for it. So their pain has become their identity, and they're unlikely to ever let it go. And number 4 is those whose time it has come to die, and no level of intervention will stop that. Those are the 4 kinds of people that exist in the world when it comes to medicine and therapy. And there's not very many of group 1. There's plenty of group 2. There's plenty of group 3. And there's enough of group 4 that if your ego's too big as a therapist and you think you can save everybody, you're a fool.
Yeah.
Because there are spiritual reasons it's time to go.
So what are we to do with such a small group 1? And I agree with you. I've met so many patients over my lifetime, being around doctors since I was little and meeting patients, going into clinics and really getting to know them. And even now I sit down with patients all the time on a daily basis. Of course, we were connected because of a patient, that you both was. So, what can we do as a whole, as practitioners, to help the other 3 groups? Because I don't know if they will adapt to a whole new style of medicine where it is more about responsibility, doing these things, making the changes, abiding by what you need to do, not just taking a pill or going under the knife.
Well, what we can do is exactly what I developed, and that is the 4-doctor model. First of all, we can't do it if we don't have an adequate understanding of the psychological process and the process of individuation, which in Jungian psychology means moving through the stages of childhood, adolescence, and becoming an authentic adult and accepting responsibility for yourself. Unfortunately, due to the way our culture is set up, predominantly in the West, but worldwide, due to the impact of religion and deifying priests and authority figures as people you follow whatever they say and don't ask questions, or else, because that goes all the way back to being slaves and all sorts of things. And religion instilled that in people's heads, and the doctors became the modern priests of science. The scientists became the modern priests. And so a lot of people have been indoctrinated in this authoritarian, patriarchal model. And so they're afraid to challenge authority. They'll get their organs and glands and everything cut out and spend all the money they have and go broke doing what they're told, even when their own intuition and their own gut instinct goes against it. So we have to have enough understanding of the life process to see where a person's at, or we can't effectively coach them. I tell my students, we never treat the disease that has the person. We coach the person that's acquired a disease. And so we built an entire medical system based on what is called a treatment model. Now, if I say to you, Casper, I'm going to treat you to dinner, who do you automatically assume is paying for it?
You're paying for that, Paul.
Right. So you see, what we've done is we've created a medical model where we actually have this unconscious concept that if we go pay a therapist or a doctor money, they're going to take our pain away, and that's their job, not ours. So we need to completely rehabilitate medicine and turn it into a coaching model and let doctors be teachers, not fixers.